George, how you doing?
So my little boys are just doing like the wrestling. They're doing good.
Brett, how's it going?
I'm good, Ken. How about you?
Just like the one-legged man, I can't kick.
Huh? Yeah.
Yes. I will attach it.
Cool.
I'm gonna turn your mics on. We can, whenever you're ready, Mayor.
Hold on, I can't think of his name, say Aaron. Nope,
No, he's in.
He's in DC today. He told me to tell you though, he will for sure be here for the next one.
I will not be here for the next one.
You will not. What did you say?
Where's Mike Reese? You guys both want one of those? No, just kidding.
Just one's fine. Oh, just county commissioner.
Do we have an agenda, a paper agenda? Guys, you don't touch it.
quite a while. I mean, it all depends on what it's set for, but it
4 or
should be
5
quite a
minutes.
while, at least, yeah.
And then it go dim first for a while.
Yeah, it goes dim for a little bit and then you catch it and it'll wake back up.
Okay.
We got Mike Reese on the line, that's good.
I'm going to call this meeting to order. Will you join me with the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I get a roll call, please?
Councilman Rao. Present. Councilman Hunter.
Here,
Mayor Rao. Here. Councilman Laverie.
Here.
And Councilman Fitzsimon's in Washington DC, so he apologized for not being here, and he said he's promising to be here for the next one.
All right. Are we in compliance with our open meeting laws? Public comment. Do we have any public comment related to any items on the agenda tonight? Anybody online? Take comment? We'll move on to the consent agenda.
On the minutes for the meeting February 17th, there's just a omission of some stuff where it says,
One Nevada plan.
yeah, the One Nevada plan. This is a presentation of the One Nevada plan in Wesley Harbor, but there's nothing else there. There was quite a bit of discussion on both sides of it there.
I'm-
We basically just left it out probably. This is something Linda done today at the last minute. So other than that addition, I would make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
And maybe, just let me know if I'm wrong, Craig, but maybe we should, sorry. Maybe we should just approve the consent agenda without the minutes tonight. That way, we know exactly what we're going to approve in the minutes. Does that make sense? I'm sorry?
Except some of them minutes are past due and they need to be approved.
We can approve all of them except
them
for
except
February
all of them.
17th.
Okay, yeah,
And then I'll put those on the next.
Okay, let's make that amendment to the motion then, that we approve all of them except the February 17th motion.
thank you.
I'll second that.
Okay. We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda with the exception of the minutes of 2:17. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. Approve or deny room tax board recommendation for $5,000 donation to the Memorial Day softball tournament.
That's the same amount that we had last year, and I questioned it last year and went to several people that has put on tournaments before, and they stated that that amount was proper for it, so we approved it last year. So I would imagine that we'll approve it again this year if we have the same amount of teams and stuff.
Is that a motion?
I suppose I could make that motion.
I'll just comment on it real quick too. I mean, that's been an ongoing thing, but, I think last year too, with that meeting, Chris kind of cleared up some of the issues and stuff that, and the questions Tommy was at the meeting and I was there. And so I'll make a motion to approve the room tax board's recommendation for the 5,000 for the Memorial Day softball tournament.
I'll second it then.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the room tax donation for $5,000 for the softball tournament on Memorial Day. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Approve or deny room tax recommendation for $5,652.60 donation to the Boxcar Museum. Donation will be used to paint interior and update flooring.
Before we go into this gentleman here was here on the business license, and that was approved on the consent agenda, for your information. So it was approved.
Yeah, we'll get all that. Charlie will be back on Monday, so probably on Monday, we'll get that all done. Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Approve or deny recommendation for $5,652.60 for the Boxcar Museum.
Make a motion that we approve it. It's just for the upgrades and those things, and it's very needed. And the room tax board approved it, so I make a motion that we approve it.
I'll second the motion to approve the 5,562.60 for upgrades to the interior of the room tax, or sorry, to the Boxcar Museum.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve $5,652.60 for the Boxcar Museum from the room tax board. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item C, approve, deny room tax board's recommendation for a $3,700 donation to the Lincoln County Authority of Tourism, LCAT. Donation will be used to print visitor guides an advertisement in the Travel Nevada magazine.
This is the one that I brought up a couple meetings back and requested the clerk put that on the room tax agenda for approval, so they have met on that. So I would make a motion that we approve this $3,700 to LCAT.
And I'll second that.
Okay, we got a motion and a second to approve $3,700 from the room tax to the Lincoln County Authority on Tourism. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Update concerning ongoing grants administration and the city clerk's report.
I have a couple of pages in front of you there. The Cali and Union Pacific Depot exterior restoration addendum number 1, and then the Union Pacific Depot exterior restoration pre-bid conference sign-in sheet. Those are just for your information. If you have any questions, I can try to answer them, or we can reach out to Linda as well. As far as the grants update, I'm just gonna read this. As far as CDBG goes, the pre-bid conference for the California Depot exterior restoration project was held on Wednesday, February 23rd at 2 p.m. It was well attended. Companies from Las Vegas, Reno, Los Angeles, and San Diego. The first addendum was released on Monday, the 28th, and includes a new project schedule. The addendum and sign-in sheet from the pre-bid conference are attached. Those are the 2 pages that you should have in front of you. Also, a couple of the contractors expressed that it was their belief that all of the stucco would need to be replaced, which would mean scaffolding of the entire building. So that would make access to our building a little more challenging. Not to mention the various times windows and doors will be removed and boarded up. We need to be thinking about what to do with our tenants during the restoration and then thereafter. The AB 84 grant, Linda's been in contact with Patrick Smora with the Nevada Division of State Lands and Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, and working with Ellery Staler and Brandon Bishop to finish up the contract between us and them for the $2 million. There were some delays, but we were on track, and Carmen with Heritage Architecture has given us a list of possible ideas for the interior restoration. There will be a depot restoration committee meeting next Friday to go through the list and either add or subtract so that Carmen can finish the plans for the interior. Other than that, as far as grants, that's all we have. Any questions on that? Want me to slide into the rest of mine?
Yeah.
So I didn't print out, but I sent in the packet, the financial statements are revenues and expenses compared to budget. And that contains all of the funds. I'm not gonna necessarily go through them. I just wanted to get them in front of the council so that you have them and you can look them over the next couple weeks if anything stands out. I'd love your feedback. There are several things as I went through. This is the first time I printed them and went through them myself, and I'm only partway through them. So I've moved a few things already. You'll notice a few changes the next time we run these, but by and large, we have financial statements, which is wonderful. And from there, we can start to make plans and decide kind of how we move forward. It'll also help us, per our conversation with Dan, know if we need to move any money before the end of the year. So we'll be looking at that. Grant, just for your information, we discussed probably a month or more ago some changes that needed to be made to some charges that hit your account specifically. I mean the shop. I still haven't made those changes. So if you see stuff that's off still on yours, those are still there. So there will be some more changes for yours as well. I don't know what else to report. I've been just doing a lot of this, so.
You were gonna report in regards to the requirement for filing for office.
Yes, thank you. So we do have the election coming up and the notice of candidacy The open window to file that is the 7th of this month, closes on the 18th. I believe that closes at sometime on that day, around 5 o'clock, but it could be earlier. But they have to be submitted by the 18th. I would say close of business for us here would be 4 o'clock, so if you're gonna get them in, you gotta get them into me before 4 o'clock on the 18th, unless I update you.
And they file with you?
They do file with me. Yep. Yep.
Hey, we got any questions for our city clerk? All right.
Get it easy on me, Joe.
Public Work Manager's report, Mr. Perkins.
Go by so we can actually hear. So we read water and power meters at the beginning of the month, and right after we read water and power meters, they're obviously billed for and everybody's accounts are looked at. And just so you guys are aware, we did have to shut off power utilities to 2 customers in this last billing cycle. That was done today. And interestingly enough, one of them came in and had their power back on today. So that's good.
Both of them or just one?
Just one of them.
Just one.
Yep. With all the work going on behind the businesses that are on Clover Street, on Clark Street back there, the power project that they've been doing, business had a sewer issue right at the middle of them working back there, and they thought maybe it was something the power company had done. We went in and cameraed the sewer for them and helped them, and it was their problem under their building, not us at all, but that was one of the concerns we did have with that going on. We've been working with the power district as they've done things back there and continue to mark lines and help them with that and let them use our equipment as well. Next week, we will be doing power outages to make the new connections from the underground to the meter panels for the customers that are there. So that will be happening next week. We read power meters, turned off 2 customers. We did have some repairs we did on the garbage truck when we cleaned out the compactor as well. And we've worked our normal trash routes. I also want to talk to you guys. We met with Battleborn Butcher Block out at their construction site, just discussing where the water, sewer, and power connections are going to be. They're back out there working again. That looks like it's moving forward again now. I also, in the last 2 weeks, have talked to a couple other, one other business owner at the end of Clover Street down here. It used to be a motel that's abandoned. They're going to fix that up. They were talking about where to get power from. Visited with them quite a bit today about their water connection, sewer, power there as well. So there's another business on Clover Street that is in the process or getting looked at, getting cleaned up and renovated, which is kind of nice. The business street here is looking good now with the things that Mr. Ellison's taken care of and fixed up, and hopefully some more coming along. So that's my report. If you got any questions for me.
Are you gonna announce your
Oh,
candidacy?
yeah, I will do that. I was planning on that. Thank you for reminding me. So I will be running for sheriff for Lincoln County. There typically won't have an answer until November as to whether I'm elected or not. There's a chance, depending on who all runs, that we could know in June, right after the primaries. But at this point, let's just plan on November, knowing what's gonna happen there.
Good deal. But I had a question for you, something else too. And this might have been discussed and I missed it, but the meters, the automated meters,
Uh-huh.
did you ever figure like more totals out with that and
So-
stuff, or did we just kind of, I might have missed it, so that's why I was asking.
So I believe I did come back with more information for that, and when the council looked at the $900 a month,
Okay, that, I
we
remember
were
that
asked
one.
to stop, but there is some discussions with Lincoln County Power District about being able to put all the meters on their system, and they would cover that $950 a month because it wouldn't make their rate go up any. And we could use some of the access to that system, not all, but some of the access to that system to help our customers, to do our billing with. things like that. And then it would help them as well, because when they get a call out for a power outage, it actually is on a TV screen, display screen in their shop. They can come in, look at the screen, and figure out exactly where the problem was.
And the other side of that is the reason we're looking at that is because some of the grants that we're looking at applying for,
Yes.
to be able to pay for those things, instead of using our ARP or whatever funds they are, we're looking at getting some grants because it would fall right under line with that so that we could improve our electrical. We want to improve the entire electrical system for the city of Cali, and part of that would be adding the meter. The requirement would be that we add the meters so that we can fall in line with that grant to get a lot of those upgrades paid for.
I remember the $900 and we did kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
But, again, as you're aware of, and I don't know like how much more we want to pursue it. That's why I was just asking, but like POH, I've talked to Nate and they do, like everybody, town managers say those work well.
Yeah, so POH is given.
But the cost is a whole nother issue.
Yeah.
You know?
POH has radio red water meters, and they continually have problems.
He told me that. He said the water is a different story, but the power is not.
But our water meters work good, so
Yeah.
we're gonna hope it continues that way.
That's all. That's
Okay.
all I had. I was just curious.
Any other questions for Grant? Okay. Just discussion of legal issues, Mr. Katsky.
Yeah, maybe not a legal issue. I was approached last week regarding potential interest in the industrial, I guess selling land in the industrial park by another party. They didn't really want, I won't name who it is. They're exploring it right now and they don't want their name to be out there as of right now. But there is some interest. So I've gotten with Grant and Craig. We're gonna try to get that, before we do sell any more land, I think we need to get that master plan from Sunrise Engineering back first. So we'll just stay on top of them to make sure we get that back before we go into any serious talks about selling any more land, just because I want to make sure that's sorted out before we do anything so we're not in a mess 10 years down the line. Other than that, I've got nothing else to report. I will not be in attendance in the next meeting. I'll be out of town that day, so.
We will have, I didn't know if you were gonna mention, but we'll have the, approval of ordinance 192
Oh,
in that next meeting.
that's true. And that was the, just editing, we edited some words out of the, why can't I think of words tonight?
The conditional use permit.
The conditional use permit language out of zoning laws is what we did.
I have a question for Franklin too. This has been on my mind, but was that a contract that we did with Lincoln County Power at the last meeting? Is that officially signed?
So I believe Lincoln County Power is having a meeting. I think they usually have it on Tuesday mornings. I don't know if it's this coming Tuesday or the following Tuesday, but it's sometime in the next couple of weeks at Lincoln County Power. The Lincoln County Power Board will sign that contract, yeah.
Is there any room for changes or different negotiations or no? Just out of curiosity.
I mean, we've signed it, I guess.
Okay.
The deal's done.
Yeah, and I ask it, and stop me if I legally overstep my boundary. I just feel like, I don't know, I after thinking about it that night and everything, I don't know like how they can, I don't like the deal with them continuing to say like the business of the marijuana grow. We should probably capture that funding, not, I don't know, I didn't like it particularly.
Maybe,
Maybe
yeah,
we could talk
maybe,
about it more off.
maybe you and I can sit down
Yeah,
and talk
and
about it.
I voted for it, so I just, after I did,
Yeah, call me next week and we'll sit down and talk about it
Okay.
sometime.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, building inspector's report.
You have a copy of my report in your packet. Everything is pretty much the same as on there.
I haven't seen
The battle board meets, I weren't aware that they were doing anything up there. Today's the first day I think I haven't been up there in a long time. But pretty self-explanatory. There is a couple items that didn't make it on here. First, I think we need to talk about this gentleman's business plan that we just approved on the business license. I issued a notice of violation on that building a couple of weeks ago. I've since talked to Bert Cox, who is the property owner.
He's not going in that building.
He's not going in that building?
In Bert Cox's? Oh, so
Yeah.
that's news to me. I
That's
thought
what I
Oscar was
thought.
going in there.
Yeah,
Okay, I apologize.
yeah. The only problem I have is that there is no toilet facilities or laboratories in that building. There's none in the building next door. When we first okayed that business to start up in there was an understanding with Bert Cox that he would work and complete the action on that next building, which has restroom facilities, rough facilities in it, but he never finished that up. He and I had a discussion last week, and I suggested, and this is just a suggestion, that we take the porta potty issue and put it inside the garage. My biggest complaint there is I've been getting complaints continually, and it's got worse, about the porta potties being used for those. Because number one, you're supposed to have a lavy in there to wash your hands and everything that goes with that. So we kind of jumped over that. I asked to be heard on that before the vote was taken, but we didn't do that. And I maybe should have opened my mouth, but that's not my place to do that when you're taking an action. But we do need to get an understanding on what's going to happen with those laboratories. Bert would like to have 3 months to do that. And because of some commitments he's got out of town, he can't even get in there to do those renovations that are necessary for 3 months. We need that facility operational in town. There's no doubt in my mind about that. So I'm willing to if you'll agree to put the porta potties in out of sight so the neighbors quit complaining, then we'll give Bert 3 months to do that. I don't have a problem with that, but that's a decision that this board needs to make,
I got a question on that, because
okay?
I know a lot about the porta potty issue, because I helped one of the neighbors out there quite a bit, and it's almost to the point of ignorance by putting that porta potty next to her house. But, if we voted on it and passed it and it was in the consent agendas, I kind of missed that myself. With that red tag being on there, is it, even though we voted for it and approved it, would the repairs still need to be made?
It doesn't make any difference whether you approve the license or not.
Yeah,
I
not
just
the-
want to make everybody aware that I'm willing to give them the opportunity to go ahead and get open and get things moving over there.
If I may.
Sure.
So my plan going forward is I don't want to open up until I'm fully functional, and that includes the restrooms, and I spoke with Bert about this. I agree with you guys about having the restrooms in that building. I personally don't want, porta potties in the shop, because it'll just sneak it up. So I have talked to Bert about me building bathrooms if I have to. But just going forward, I'm not gonna actually advertise open until we get a restroom, because that reflects negatively on me.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, but if the council says it's okay to do it, there's the problem with putting the porta potty in that adjacent building is there's no way to get it in there. Those doors are not big enough to get it through. So I looked at that, actually I looked at it today. All the rough plumbing is in that other building. If you can figure out how to get at least one of those functioning with water and sewer line hooked up, then you'd be in good shape.
Yeah, that's definitely something I can do.
Yeah. So if you can get that done, I'll come help you if you want. let's put it that way.
Yeah, I'll get with Bert on it, I've been speaking with him here and there about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just as long as everybody knows what the situation is.
I got one other question on that, and again, it's, but, and like with the previous business, and probably going back to the other previous, third previous one, at like what point does that, this would be a question for you, Kim, what point does that classify being a junkyard? I mean, like how many, is there any laws on that or with the business? I mean,
We
is
have-
there, in the past, there's cars stored all along the alley, tires thrown all over in the side,
Well,
or
there's been,
should there
there
be a
has been
fence put
some,
up?
there's been some ongoing issues with,
Yeah, I'm
with
just
the
curious.
tires and everything.
I think we need the business 100% and
Yeah.
get it, you know, hopefully it gets back open and get it going. They're just,
And every time I went over there and got on them about cleaning up the tires, they made a stab at it, but then
yeah, I'll give them that. I'll give them that.
it was,
I did it, but you get the back section and all those cars and everything is just,
there just
that was
needs.
just a curiosity
and-
question, but.
And I'm sure you agree, I mean, it'll be your business, that it doesn't need to look presentable.
Yeah, so, I've actually made comments about the previous business, the way it looked. Now that I'm in there, it will not look like that. I'm not gonna do tires first off. Yeah, I'm gonna have vehicles out there.
Yeah, I understand that 100%.
But it will look organized, it's not just
Yeah.
gonna be towing somebody in and parking the vehicle wherever it goes.
Yeah.
If you drive by there now, I have my personal vehicles and a friend's vehicle there, and everything's, you know, lined up neatly, it doesn't look like junkyard.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate that. And it was just kind of I've seen it get out of hand over there and I honestly didn't know if there was some point, but, and I understand you're gonna have vehicles coming in and out of there and things parked and just, exactly, they'd start towing things in and they get left in the alley and gets, kind of got crazy, but, okay.
Okay, well, we'll work on that now. And that has nothing to do with your approving the business license. It just means that I need to be satisfied that something's gonna happen. And I'll take your word for it.
Okay. Any other questions?
There was one other issue on my report. Well, actually, there's two. It looks like the apartment buildings have gotten the green light from FEMA and HUD. The city clerk has sent them a means to get the escrow closed. The mortgage company and the title company will not close escrow until the business buys the building permit. They've agreed to take the escrow account and pay the business for building permit, which is like almost a $19,000 building permit. They've agreed to do that through escrow. As soon as escrow closes, then they'll have the legal authority go in there and start work. And I've already looked at, in fact, I've got a copy of the building permit with me now. We've priced it out and it's ready to go. The other thing is that I've had a phone conversation today with the insurance service organization, and it's like a 2-hour online conversation with them. And we moved forward with that. I've got some paperwork that they want me to give them, and we'll have a better rating than we had on the ISO. It's gonna, well, he told me today that he probably would give us an 8 on the ISO rating for the fire department, which is terrific. Our understanding was that it was a 4 before, so it's almost doubled. Unless somebody's got any questions, that's all I have.
I hate to do this, I do got one other question. Number 5, the renovation of the existing cabin in the habitable living quarters at Love Lane. And like it's ongoing, so like, I guess I'm asking, they're permitted to build on that thing and Is
Well-
it really like up to the square footage of it?
I did my best to talk her out of that, because I know what's gonna happen. There's 1,200 square feet in that building. She's gonna live in it for a month, and she's not gonna be happy with it anymore.
No, there can't be 1,200. No way.
Well, that's what
Maybe
it meant.
Close to 400.
No, I measured 1,200, the inside dimensions.
120?
No, I've got a floor plan from her.
10 by 12. The little shed on Love Street.
Yeah. It meets the definition of a tiny home, is
I'm
what
sure.
it does.
Yeah, okay, all right.
But she's paid the permit fee, and I'm, from the way my interpretation is of the tiny home, she has a legal authority to put that building in there and live in it. I don't think she's gonna be happy with it. She owns 2 lots over there.
Yeah, I
Her
know.
plan is to build another home in there.
Yeah.
Originally, that was gonna be like someplace she could work out of. But she's got a workable building plan in there.
Okay.
So, I don't think she'll be happy with it, but I can't convince her of that.
Yeah. All right. No more questions for me.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it?
Any questions? Okay. Discussions of issues related to public safety. Fire chief.
We're gonna have some repairs coming up. Change out that pump on that one truck.
Any questions for our fire chief? Discussion of council members' responsibilities, Parks Beautification Committee, Mr. Fitzsimons, and he's not here tonight. Do we have anything from him? Okay. Community Development Planning, Councilman Rao.
Yes, I got a call from Carson City today in regards to the walking and bicycle path between here and Kershaw. They have officially let the contract as of March 1st, which is what, Monday? March 1st was the date they let the contract. There is still a problem with some of the right-of-way, and the problem seems to be that part of that property is in bankruptcy. But they don't feel that there will be they figure they can get it going. So within, I think he said 30 to 45 days, they should be started on it. And I met with the owner of Battleborn Butcher today out there where they're doing their surveying and stuff. And they're gonna be moving a building in on some stuff within the next couple of weeks. So
The
they're
building, what do they
building all,
classify as a building?
the building is already, I guess, their control building. It's a modular or something that they're gonna move, that they're gonna be moving in. But they're gonna be pouring a pad for it, and they're surveying and gonna build some more property up before they put it in. So if you're not aware of that, you might wanna check with them.
Well, they should be checking with me, because we had that conversation with them before they ever started. I need to see the plan on a building before I'll ever issue a building permit.
Okay, well, yes.
So when we met with him earlier this week, he was talking about a temporary office building. He was gonna be pouring footing for some of his vaults because he was afraid of how much traffic was gonna go over them, that he was gonna put a footing under some of his vaults. But the building he told me about was just gonna be a temporary office building that he was gonna have there for construction, and then it would get moved later and used as a control room.
Maybe I misunderstood. Maybe he's gonna, the cement they're pouring is gonna be for the power district to put their stuff in there, or whatever it is they're gonna do.
That could be.
Okay,
Well, the
He
power
talked-
district's gonna be putting some big transformers in there.
okay, that
So
might be what
That's
he's,
gonna have to be a structurally sound building for any power transformers that go in there. Because those are, as you all know, a pretty heavy piece of equipment.
right. Anyway, they're working on that now. I don't have anything else to report, except I'd make a little announcement to the crowd here that I just got word that Wiley Mitchell and Rita Sheeny of Pioche both qualified in the top 10 in the short go-around at the AT&T Stadium in Houston, Texas. Out of the top 10 barrel racers in the world now. And the grand prize for this final one is $1 million. So they're in the top 10 for this out of Pioche. That's all I got.
But I will get with Jim tomorrow on this building and find out some more details on it.
Okay, any questions for Tommy? Tourism, Boxcar Museum, Mr. Leveri.
So the boxcar, I wanted to go over there because they're working on it, but I will make it over there this weekend sometime. I drove by a couple times and seen Cliff over there working and other people and was trying to make my way there and just couldn't, but, I'll make it over there this weekend. I'd like to see what he's doing, then for the next meeting can have a report. The tourism, I think the money that we're funding from the room tax into the tournaments and the LCAT for the magazine will be good. I'm gonna try to talk to Marcia Hurd because on the next agenda, Scott Harden will be sending an agenda request in, and you might have seen it today, but, either way, it should be coming for the Nevada 200, which is right around the corner.
Yeah, I got a copy of they got one in for the county, so
Okay.
I've got the copy of that today.
And then, yeah, so he called me and either I'll speak on the behalf and then abstain for the vote because he's not gonna be able to make it, which I think he's gonna come in the April 6th meeting though. Maybe public comment. But anyways, that's gonna be, they've kind of changed and he's doing it by himself and they've got, right now it's 180 entries. A bunch of different magazine publications and bigger sponsors. And so that should be a really good thing it always is to bring people here, but with this, giving the LCAT the money, I think I'll talk to Scott and get him with Marcia, and maybe he can put something in that publication as well.
Yeah.
He always does a good write-up on Caliente and everything, so anyways, that'll be good for the tourism. I'll try to hook them two up, and then for the boxcar, I will make it by there this weekend and get a chance to talk to Cliff, so I'll give you a report on that at the next meeting.
Any questions for Joe? All right, public utilities, Councilman Hunter.
Not a lot to report, just want to, the only thing I will mention is that the power district is working hard again on, we've got some plans for upgrading and trying to go for some grants to upgrade the entire electrical system within the city, and the power district is doing a lot of work on that, and they're doing a very good job getting some numbers, and it's hard for them to get numbers that are firm and solid with a lot of things, but they're doing a brunt of the work for us, and so appreciate their help on that, but they gave us an update this week that they are moving forward on it, and that things are coming together so we can submit that to Representative Horsford's office and hopefully get some of those grants to move forward on our public works stuff.
Any questions for Councilman Hunter? I don't have a whole lot to report on. Craig's been working many hours over here. He's got getting our budgets lined out, financials figured out. So today was our first report that was given to us, so I think that's big progress.
Only 8 months in.
It's only taking him 8 months to get caught up with everything. But we got it. I don't know if anybody knows or not, but we ought to congratulate Joe. He's been promoted. He's now what, the camp supervisor up here now?
No, actually, no, so what, that's what I was, but I took over, saw the entire region and, but yeah, I still plan on doing my duties and stuff, and that's where I was I got bogged down with a few things, but should be able to get it handled. Appreciate it.
Okay, I don't have anything else. Public comment. Do we have any public comment? Would you come up so we can hear you on this thing, record so they can put it down? Let them turn you on. You want to turn that deal on for it? There you go.
Bonnie Smith. And I just want to know if the city could send out notices with the next bill reminding people not to throw their hot ashes in the dumpster. Being as they set our dumpster on fire. Okay. That's all I
right.
had.
We will get that on the utility bill.
All right, do we have any other public comment?
Mayor Rao,
Go ahead, Jeff.
this is Jeff Fontaine with the Regional Development Authority. Thanks for the opportunity to provide some public comment. I just wanted to let the council know, if you don't already, that we'll be holding our first of 3 workshops in your council chambers, and thank you very much for allowing us to use those chambers for our first public workshop to update the Lincoln County Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy, or CEDS. This is a 5-year document, and the current CEDS was last updated in 2017. So it needs to be updated at least every 5 years, comprehensively updated every 5 years. And so we'll have a series of workshops starting on March 22nd, probably for a couple of months after that, and then get that document finalized and submitted off to the U.S. Department of Commerce. That will allow us and help you submit and be eligible for certain federal grants. And I just wanted to invite all of you to participate in that first workshop if you're available. I think it's a great opportunity to get input from all of you about the direction of the city with regard to economic development, and something that we would really appreciate as well. So again, thanks for the opportunity.
Okay, thanks, Jeff. Do you have any questions for Jeff at all? Okay, thank you.
I do have a
Yes,
public
Joe?
comment if I can make one.
Yep.
So the Off-Road Highway Vehicle Commission, they're looking for a new chairman, and I've spoke with the deputy director of conservation. That's who's over it. So I just wanted to throw that out there on the meeting. If someone knows a person, that would be really good, because that ties right into the tourism thing here with all the OHV that comes in here. Anyways, if someone knows a good person or at the regional development meetings and things like that, let me know, and I can pass it on up to Dominique, the deputy director, and get that going. But they really are looking for a good person that wants to fill that seat, and from right here in Lincoln County for the thing. But I do think it's important because of all the OHVs that should be coming here any time now. Good opportunity to capture some grants and different things for that. So if someone knows someone, let me know.
Okay, any other public comment? If not, I adjourn this meeting.
Got it all in hand.
All right, I'm kicking you out. I got to go to a basketball game.
I don't want them to start until we get a signed contract. That brief from Jim.
He's in Panaca.
Do we want to meet?